Finding errors in a program and correcting the errors. This is quite a common question in paper 2 in the GCSE spec. You'll be given some pseudocode where it has a number of errors and your job is to find the errors and correct them. So let's try a working example together. So what you have to do to find and correct the errors is, firstly, you have to know the purpose of the algorithm, which means you have to read the description. You test it with some data, and then you'll notice that there are some errors and some changes that you can make. So let's have a look at an example. So this is a question. It says, read this section of program code that should input 30 positive numbers and then output the largest number input. Okay, so we're going to enter 30 numbers and it's going to tell us the largest of the 30 numbers. When we have a look, there are 4 errors. So it says there are 4 errors in this code. Locate the errors and suggest a corrected piece of code. So the first error, if we have a look on line number 1, large is assigned to 9,999. This is a very large number. I could enter 30 numbers which are smaller than this or likely to be smaller than this. So like 500, 1,000, 3,000 and so on. But the program will have a logical error. It will never find the largest number because large is set to a very high number. So we should assign this to 0, a very low number. The second error that I notice is on line number 3. Counter on line number 2 starts at 0, and then we have a while loop that says while counter is more than 30. But 0 is never going to be more than 30, so we'll never get an opportunity to enter this while loop. Therefore, this is an error. What it should read is while counter is less than 30, because we can see on line number 7, something happens. All right. Line number 6, we can see it says if the number entered by the user is smaller than the large. But that doesn't make sense. We're trying to find the largest number. So the operator should be the other way around. It should be if number is more than large, then large equals number. And then one final error, we're entering 30 positive numbers, but what we look at when we see counter starts at 0 and it's going backwards because it's -1. What line 7 should do is it should increment. It should increase by 1. So it should be counter equals counter plus 1. So this is a common question. You read the code carefully and you try and spot the errors and suggest some corrected piece of code.